Welcome to the Two Lonely Boys in the Canoe podcast.
I'm sure you've heard of GBH, obviously.
I'm sure you've heard of GBH.
Well, I know she has. But yeah, it was grievous body arm.
Yeah.
Like lycrocanthines. So turning into werewolves.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, if you don't know, that's Trevor. He was just talking.
I'm
Chris, and joining us today again is Kristina. Glad to have her. She is always welcome. So what's going on, Trevor?
Well, I'll start off by saying...
Gonna call you Vinegar from this point on. You're full of vinegar.
Oh, after today, definitely. But, yeah. I'll start off with on Hump Day when Kristina saw it. I had furry pussy rub its furry pussy on my head.
Oh, yeah. Jonah's cat was in heat. Jumped right up on the back of Trevor's shoulders.
And started a...
Freshly shaved head equals cat scratch fever.
Oh, yeah.
Bam,
3 different
out.
times started making love to my head with her pussy. 3 times. And he would, like, put her in the room. He's like, oh, it won't happen again. Immediately jump on my shoulders.
Cat scratch fever.
Oh, yeah. I thought it was hilarious.
This shit's better than catnip, bro.
Well, that cat really likes me. Every time she loves to hang out on me, so... I'm attracted
Are
to
you trying
pussy.
to tell me you're starting
pussy
an
magnet.
interspecies relationship with your friend's cat, Trevor?
No, she's being the aggressor in the situation. I'm just the cool guy hanging out playing Dungeons and Dragons.
So you gotta explain to that cat no means no. You know? And if it doesn't understand...
I don't speak cat. What do I go? Just...
Speaking of cats and interspecies relationship.
Yeah!
Interspecies are...
I think we're to start with bestiality. Let's go.
When I was teaching sex ed for middle school kids, you know, when you're doing sex ed, you got the anonymous question box, right? And the teacher pulls out a question and reads it out loud and answers it to the class.
And you were teaching this class?
I had a kid, and of course all the teachers, you learn to recognize the kid's handwriting, so you know who the question's from.
Okay.
But,
Billy, is that you again?
No!
had a kid
I'm
ask,
sick of these love notes.
if I have sex with my cat, can I get her pregnant? Which was very concerning on many levels.
He's like, listen, I'm just asking for a friend, but I'll let you know this right now. I have some kids coming in about 2 months. It's going to be real weird to explain this to the in-laws, basically.
Right?
Coming.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Cats are weird when they're in heat. I've dealt with a lot of cats over the years in heat. We used to have a bunch of feral cats that lived out in the back of my dad's house. And we had an old cement shed that was in the back. And the problem was that the cats would get in there after they had had sex and give birth.
Oh, yeah.
And they would find a nice little spot to give birth in the shed. But it would get to be over 100 degrees in that little box.
Oh, and you'd end up with cooked kitties.
Cooked kittens. And it was such a problem because we put a door on it to stop it from happening. They would still find ways to sneak in and have their litters. And we must have taken like, I don't know, 15, 20 cats out of there. Tried to save them all. Couldn't save them all.
Yeah.
But yeah, cats fuck, and it's so crazy because after they get done having a litter, they'll go out and fuck right again, like immediately.
Yeah,
it's pretty nuts.
You want the light off?
I don't know, Trevor. What do you think she wants? Trevor's all about lights off fun. Hey, I'm more of a lights on kind of guy.
Benjamin Franklin once said, "All cats look alike in the dark." There you go.
Trevor's into that interspecies erotica.
I actually do have a funny story from when I was in the California Conservation Corps, and we went to the Eureka Zoo to help out and clear all the brushes out of there.
Eureka Zoo.
Eureka, well, it was like the pee hole of the state anyway, so pretty much Eureka is the
piss hole of the...
Oh no, if you've been there, it's a shitty little harbor town right before you enter Oregon. And yeah, we had to clear out a bunch of brush one day, and I was in the petting zoo area with the goats, and they were taking pictures like, "Hey, we're doing good things, helping out the zoo." So I decided as a joke, because I was even a joker back then, I had my cool guy shades on.
No.
Yeah.
You say.
I pretended to grab this goat's ass. I had it like right next to the ass, but the picture, it looks like I'm just full on, yeah! But they took a picture of it, and they're like, well, that's inappropriate. I'm like, it was just a joke. And I won this award for like core member of the month and all this shit. And they wouldn't put a picture of me because they're like, that's inappropriate and all this. So a bunch of the core members, they tried to get rid of the picture. They kept printing out these pictures of me pretending to grab a goat's ass and posted it all over in the office bathroom, like all over the place in the staff.
Well, you kind of gave them that ammo, didn't you?
I thought it was hilarious.
I bet you did until you saw it everywhere.
No, I still thought it was funny. I was drunk all the time. I didn't give a fuck. I thought it was hilarious. I never gave a fuck. It's like I would out drink and outwork everyone. I didn't care. Did not care.
So what's changed since then and now?
I don't drink liquor anymore.
That's a little different.
At least not very often.
And I also haven't gotten banned out of anywhere in a while. A few months.
Hey.
24 hours.
A few months. Well, also
He's like, I went to a Wendy's today and they were talking some weird shit about me not getting 13 Frosties.
Yeah, you know that. That's why I had to kill everyone. I mean, that's why I had to give them long naps.
Long division naps.
Yes.
I'd give them many math problems until they fell asleep.
Hey,
What's the remainder?
Hey, PEMDAS just got a lot more serious, motherfuckers.
I'm talking
math jokes.
Algebraic equations, bro. A squared plus B squared equals who gives a shit squared.
Yeah, this Pythagorean theorem is about to get a lot more serious right now.
Hey, any side of a right triangle. No, just keep doing math puns.
Oh, I actually was at a skinhead party once, and I was like, okay, these guys aren't racist. And then I like looked around, like, yeah, I don't know about this party. And I went to my Mexican friend and my black friend, and yeah, we definitely stood out a little bit. And these guys got drunk and were playing Screwdriver and decided to steal.
Definitely racist.
Yeah, but I didn't. At the time, I didn't know that. And they had guns everywhere, an American flag, and they had the fucking.
There's a giant Nazi flag behind Trevor. He's like, you know, guys, I think they might be racist.
So they're like, hey, if you guys are cool, get drunk with us and let's go steal fence posts from the neighbors and we'll make a bonfire. So that's what we did for 4 hours. We busted into places, stole fence posts, cut them up, and had a huge bonfire. And then one of the guys there, I made a triangle joke like, oh, is that why are you being over 9 degrees? Why are you being so obtuse right now? Why don't you, try to be prettier and be, an acute triangle? The dude screamed, threw his shoes into the fire, and walked 6 miles down the steep hill and back into town.
What you don't know is
because I just told a joke and he just went.
He failed geometry 30 times.
He probably got
definitely a trauma trigger for him.
Yeah, he probably got touched.
It's like, don't you tell me I don't know math. I know all the math.
He probably got molested in geometry class 10 years before.
Well, what you don't know is that he was Triangle Man. So.
Isn't that a DC character? Actually, there's like a math character.
It's a song by. They Might Be Giant? Who is that?
I don't know.
There's a great
Triangle Man.
There's like a great Spider-Man, but Triangle Man instead. Yeah, you just
Particle Man is the name of the song.
Particle Man.
Yep.
That'd be pretty cool.
There's a great joke from The Simpsons where like Professor Frank is trying to get a bunch of scientists to pay attention to him, and they're all chatting amongst themselves.
No.
And he goes, "Pi is exactly 3." and everybody shuts up, and they're like, "What?"
Not 3.14, just 3.
Yeah, exactly.
3.
I was right. It is They Might Be Giants.
Okay, I like the math jokes we're doing. We're definitely adding up to some good things here.
Chris, you missed some fun out on the front steps earlier.
Oh, yeah!
Trevor and I
Hell yeah,
saw
local
a man
news.
drop trow and take a shit right in the middle of the sidewalk.
Whoa.
You know, right over there where all the parties are going on?
Across the road.
Over by the park.
Well, now there's a bum camp right there, and
how can they even call that a park? It's not even a square block.
No, it's like half a block.
It's
Look,
not even
Portland
half
has
a
the
block.
world's smallest city park, which is literally like this big and just has a little tree in it.
Yeah, but that's just to piss people off. I went to the park. I walked around
That's
it.
just Portland trying to be Portland weird. Like, we're Portland weird. But, yeah, no, that park, there's a bum camp right there across from that empty lot. And, yeah, there was one of those guys, right when her and I were sharing a beer and talking, dropped, oh, shit, there were pretty girls walking right by going, ugh, he didn't give a fuck. And then he scratched his ass for a good 5 minutes afterwards.
Well, if you take a shit on the sidewalk and you
7
wipe
years of
your
good
ass.
luck.
Yeah,
You
no.
don't wipe your ass, it gets a little itchy.
And he shit right on the sidewalk, even though the bushes were 2 feet away from him. He's like, nope, sidewalk or bust.
You know what's crazy is like if we were in the woods,
that's local news.
if we were in the woods, that wouldn't seem as crazy.
No.
But we're not in the woods.
No,
We're in a fucking
and
city.
He could have gone a few feet and been at least somewhat hidden.
Well, I mean, just in
Taking
general,
a couple
like,
steps.
I guess a lot of things in context seem like okay. You know, like peeing in public, but
Oh, got a story about that.
you know,
I
like
have many stories about
you
that
can
too.
pee in public, but you gotta like check around real quick, make sure nobody's around, and then like find a quick spot and stop.
I've
you know?
I've been chased by a cop before for peeing in public here in
I've
town.
never been caught peeing in public.
I got
Me
caught.
Too good at it.
I got caught once because I was very drunk. But
Trevor's just like, yeah, there's a stream.
no, this cop.
He's pissing on the cop
Did he
car.
like tap you on the back of the shoulder? And
No,
you
no, no.
turned around and
He
pee
was
on
in the
side?
car. Well, the thing is, I was peeing down an alleyway. And
all
I've
right,
peed.
all right, Loudy McLoudington.
I've peed many times. Never caught, but this car rolled by, and all of a sudden here they announce like, "Hey, stupid! I can see you." And I look over and I see the cop, and I was like, "Ah, shit!" And I like put my dick away and I like scuffle down. I'm hammered, and I scuffle down the alleyway, and he starts to drive after me. I'm like, "Oh shit!" I'm like kicking trash. I'm like trying to get to the end. I was like, if there's a dead end, I'm gonna be fucking furious. So I get
Trevor
to the end.
hits the dead end.
So I get down there and I take a right, and then he just goes around. He's like, "Hey, be less hidden next time." And then he called me, and he's like, and then at the end he's like, I think he said something to the effect like, "You fucking alcoholic" or something, and drove off. And I just gave him a thumbs up. I'm like, "Have a good night." And then I was like, "Well, he didn't arrest me." Or
You
anything.
remember the girl that was trying to pee outside of Doco that one
Yeah,
time?
when you were still there, Perry fucking had to go out and talk to her.
Not even. It was just like 3 of us that were standing there. I was down there smoking a cigarette.
You
There
had
was
just
another
called
guy.
that girl hot too. Like,
No.
yeah.
No, I wasn't
It
even
was the same
outside
night.
smoking a cigarette. I was up here.
It was the same night though.
But it was hilarious because the girl just squatted down, pulled her pants down,
The
and there's
evening.
like, I'm staring at her. There's 2 people down there staring at her, and her friend's like watching, kind of. She's on her phone. And then we're all just like, "What are you doing?"
I think it was
Not
Perry.
college kids.
Yeah, Perry went out and was like, "Hey."
The amount of times that people have shat in that alcove.
Oh, ridiculous! I hung out with Perry a couple times to have beers. There was shit all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, how did? That's crazy because there's people that camp there all the time. There's all the time. I like.
It's also like it's the break area for the restaurant.
Yeah.
It's such a bad little area, though. It needs to be like blocked off.
Yeah, it should be
It's
blocked
so
because
bad.
yeah, I saw people camping it this morning on my way to work. There were people camping there, and I could see shit on the
People will
walls
camp anywhere.
from this morning. I mean,
They would camp inside of a store if they could.
Yes.
Motherfuckers would try to live
I've
inside
had
of a
people try to do that at
Walmart.
7-Eleven.
we had people do that here in
And
the
they
gym.
walk into the freezer and
Yeah.
they start setting up a bag. And
They're like, "All right, cold weather camping, boys." Like, this motherfucker.
he's got a thermo fucking sleeping bag. You know, he's ready for 0-degree weather.
Right?
He's like, "Well, if I need beer, all I have to do is move over to the left, and here we go."
That would be a thing. What if
Ice
you were
cream.
trapped in a fucking cooler
I
and
would-
all you had was fucking, and you were in you weren't in a freezer. Let's say you were in a cooler. Let's say you're in
Just
there,
booze?
37 degrees, and all you got is energy drinks, booze, and water.
I
You
would
got
be-
nothing else.
Probably drink myself to death.
I'd probably start drinking.
Yeah.
I'd probably start drinking
Yeah.
and try to find a way out.
But I would try to balance it with tea and stuff, like non-caffeinated tea.
I'd find a way to turn off the air conditioner.
Yeah.
I'd turn that air conditioner off.
But then your beer wouldn't be cold.
Yeah,
It's true.
You're fucking
Then you're
up.
dealing with warm beer.
Yeah, it's
Right?
terrible.
I don't want to drink. I don't want to
You want
drink.
30 flat old Englishes? I don't. It's terrible.
Trevor, you'll drink whatever you can get your hands on.
That's besides the point, Chris. This isn't about me right now. It's about you.
It's about you and your problems. It's like, I don't have any problems. Get me
No,
no
Chris?
40s. What are you, Morpheus?
Yes.
Morpheus, Warpheus, Torpheus.
Drinking a 40 and a...
Ooh. Also in today's news,
Oh, yeah.
Trevor
Chris,
grabbed the wrong newspaper.
Yeah!
Okay.
So instead of the Eugene Weekly, so that we could, talk about local news articles,
Yeah.
Trevor just brought back an entire newspaper filled with pictures of college kids.
You should describe them in a funny manner. Describe a couple, Kristina.
Let's see. What do we
Smash
have
or
here?
pass on these college kids.
Yeah, let's go.
Smash or pass on all the young men.
Here
and
we
women.
have a flying half-naked woman.
All right, I like it. All right, smash.
Pretty sure that woman has shrunk herself down and is trying to jump into somebody's butthole.
I like it. All right,
That's smash. I like this already.
That woman is definitely high.
All right, again, smash.
Smash.
There's not a lot of wrong answers.
Hey, she
here.
likes things in her mouth, Chris. She's got a cigarette in there and things in her mouth.
All right. Let's see. And then
These people want an orgy.
we have a
Football
coupon
game.
for a $15 large single topping pizza from Tracktown Pizza.
Hell yeah.
Have you guys ever had Tracktown Pizza?
Yes.
I have.
Is it worth anything?
It's not
okay.
terrible. It's definitely
I
not.
always
the
love
best.
people
I mean,
describing
it's okay.
pizza like
It's
that.
okay.
Like
It's
it's
pizza.
not great. You know,
It's pizza,
it's
so
food.
it's not bad.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite style of pizza.
Yeah.
I prefer like New York style pizza.
Yeah, me too.
Like Pegasus. I love the pizza
Yeah.
at Pegasus.
Size used to be good, but they had a falling out. I don't know what happened to Size.
At Lands, they would serve that shit to the point where I got tired. I liked it the time when I was with your coworker briefly, and we had it and spent it at a hotel. But yeah, other than that, no. If it got worn out by Lands, would be like, oh, we're not going to give you guys wages. We're not going to raise your wages or help you out, but we'll
Here's
give you
some
some pizza.
pizza.
Now shut the fuck up and keep building cabinets. Okay. That's
Pizza's-
pretty much what it was.
pizza's
Like,
a very-
we won't raise your wages. We'll give you pizza. So shut the
All
fuck
right,
up and keep
Trevor.
working.
we
Trevor's
can
very
hear you.
excitable.
I'm very excitable today.
I'm telling you, he's vinegar. He's
Right?
vinegar today.
Hey, I'm going to show your wife what it's like to be in a really big house. No, I'm a little sparky today. I'm sorry. I should talk about my day today.
Oh, Trevor's ready. He's like, let me let you know what's happening right now, guys.
So this morning,
Go.
there's this giant machine, like $100,000+ machine that grinds saw blades. There's a computer in there, very fancy. They gave it to us. It was from Canada, but whoever loaded it, it had twisted inside the truck and was wedged in the truck, so we couldn't pull it out of the forklift. So we're like, hey, we'll send it back to one of your local offices here in Eugene, fix it, give it back. Okay. So this morning,
You guys couldn't figure out a way to get it on.
dude, it was wedged the fuck in there, and they didn't let me in there. And dude, you gotta realize this machine is the size of a small car,
That's cool.
and we had one small forklift. So yeah, we would probably need
So
two.
everybody fucked up on this one.
It
Not
gets
me.
better.
That gets a lot better. So they bring it back to us today, and I'm had the sandblaster on the far back of the shop, so I'm probably a good 100 feet plus away from the thing. I hear this loud.
Listening to Panama. Panama.
No, I was listening to reggae actually. Bob Marley just blasting it. Fridays always play reggae. It's like, all right, end
That's
of the
pretty
week.
cool.
It's like end of the week reggae. And I hear this loud boom that went through the shop. And I was like, what the fuck? And
Somebody dropped.
yeah, if I can hear a boom with the sandblaster and all the machines going, ah! And then reggae blasting, I turn my machine up, I run out, and the crate, the bottom of it, the crate had broken through, and all this fancy machinery had shattered on the asphalt. And there was my immediate boss, he's on the phone doing this. The secretary, she's doing this. Another coworker, he's just doing this.
All right, Trevor.
just
They
so
can't
everyone
see
knows.
you through
Just so
the
everyone knows,
microphone.
Trevor is flapping his arms about like a baby bird.
I love that.
You're an interpreter.
Well, I love that you think they can see you.
I don't give a
One
fuck.
guy's doing this, and the other guy's doing this, and that third guy, he was
All
doing
right.
like this.
All right, so everyone was very animated. The truck driver looked like he wanted to die at that moment. And I came out, and I just big old smile on my face, like, happy Friday, everybody. And I just smiled and thumbs up, and they all looked like they wanted to murder me. It was like, all right,
Trevor, you
goodbye,
know-
everybody. So I went
You know
back
you're
in.
asking for trouble.
They
right?
did actually want to murder you, Trevor.
I did.
do
So I
that.
went back in, but while they stood there and did nothing for 30 minutes, I kept working. So it's all good.
I guess they were probably thinking on how they could fire your ass. They're like,
No.
let's get rid of him.
No, I get too much shit done. So the rest of the day, everyone was just in a bad mood.
I
It's like
bet.
They're probably trying to figure out how to slip some salmonella into your Cheez-Its.
Well, it's like, what the fuck, man? You're having a moment at work where everything's going wrong, and somebody comes over and is like, nice move, asshole. Like, what do you expect, man?
was just trying to brighten the mood. I was just trying to.
Understandable.
I'm just trying to be a bright sun in a giant storm of sadness and misery and
but
confusion.
there's a time for everything, Trevor.
I know.
You know, you come over with an idea of how we can fix the problem, not adding to it by saying, "Good job, everybody else. I'm going to go back to work because I'm a good worker and you guys suck at your jobs."
Well, I asked him right after. I was like, "Can I do anything?"
There's
help?
nothing to do.
And he's like, "No." I was like, "All right."
Did you already say the thing before you asked if you could help?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So of course nobody wants your help at that point.
Apparently I'm a little bit of a smartass.
Who says this?
The universe.
The universe, huh?
So, yeah. Anyways, that's my story. So there you go. Shades on.
So your story is you were an asshole at work today.
I got a lot of shit, and I helped people out. I had an opportunity to throw humor in there. They didn't appreciate it.
Do you want me to tell a story about the Arizona wash tunnels?
Yes. So.
Speaking of shitting in random places.
Yes. She has a great story.
So,
all right, folks. Kristina coming at you live.
Maybe we'll backtrack about how you and Marshall used to travel on trains.
So when me and Marshall were much younger than we are now, we popped freight trains all over the country. Had ourselves.
I thought you guys had that Benjamin Button disease.
Right?
You guys are actually 6 right now.
Yeah. And we were stationed for a short while in Tucson, Arizona. And under Tucson, there's all these wash tunnels that are there to deal with the monsoon flash floods.
Yeah.
And we, it's not monsoon season. So we were camping in the wash tunnels.
What is a monsoon? It's like a hurricane?
No, it's a very heavy rainstorm.
Okay.
Out in the desert, I've actually been in one myself, you'll get where it's dry most of the year, and then it makes up for it by doing a ridiculous amount of rain.
Yeah, and so when that happens, the ground is so dry it can't absorb the water fast enough.
And it just
so you
turns
get all
into
these flash floods.
river.
So rather than allowing the city of Tucson to flood, twice, 2 or 3 times a year,
built off aqueducts.
they've got these wash tunnels under the city. So we're camped out in the wash tunnels, and we're walking from one end of the tunnel to the other, and it's probably a mile walk from one end to the other. And we get about halfway down the tunnel, and Marshall's like, I gotta take a shit.
Excuse me. Yeah.
So Marshall, walks off to the side, takes a big giant fucking steamer, and we keep walking.
Nasty.
That's hot.
We came back about an hour later after we were done doing whatever the fuck it was we were doing, and we got to the part of the tunnel where Marshall had taken a shit, and the shit was gone. But the entire fucking tunnel was covered in giant cockroaches.
Yeah.
That's pretty metal.
That's pretty cool.
Oh.
So the moral of the story is Marshall's doo-doo is delicious. If you're a cockroach.
If you're a cockroach.
I guess.
Yes.
Yeah, I got a crazy story about. It wasn't about like feces or nothing, but it was like.
I have many poop stories.
It was
Go
a
on.
dead body.
Hell yeah.
So.
Did you poke it with a stick?
No. So it was. I was walking. I used to work when I was like 14 or 15. I used to work as a bagger at a grocery store, and I would walk. It's like I don't know, 8 blocks, 10 blocks to work. So I just walked. And there was like a cemetery you could go through, and then there was a main road you could walk through. Well, the main road was like closer, kind of on the side of the grocery store. So sometimes I'd cut through the cemetery, and sometimes I'd walk on the road. But I was walking on the road for like a week or something, and like the first day of the week, I had noticed some dude was laid out in back of this house that was right off of the interstate. It's like a gated area behind a duplex. And some dude was just out there, and I was like, oh shit, because he wasn't alive at all. And I was like, oh man, I gotta keep walking. So I walked past this dead guy for maybe 3 days, and I'm just like, somebody's gonna get him. Somebody's gonna.
It never occurred to you to call?
Nope. Somebody's gonna find this guy, and it doesn't have to be me. So what ends up happening is like weeks go by, like 2 or 3 weeks. And this dude is still there. The stench is getting so bad that like people are complaining, and
that long.
it was just, I guess nobody wanted to say anything, or nobody knew maybe. But like 3 weeks go by, and eventually they finally fucking get the body out. But I remember walking by that motherfucker all the time, and the stench of death, dude. Whoa.
Oh, the stench of death is awful.
And like you could see him back there, man. He was in a yellow shirt. Like he wasn't, covered up easily and shit.
Do you have any ideas of how he died, maybe, or
Probably got fucking killed over some drugs or some shit.
Yeah.
That area right there is by a Boys and Girls Club, and I know for a fact that like the duplexes next door all sold drugs and shit.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, the smell of death, that'll fuck anything up over like shit.
Yeah, I've smelled dead people, and yeah, dead animals too. They have a bunch of dead animals, also not good.
Well, it's weird because like a dead person is like a giant dead animal.
It is.
It just smells like 3 times as bad.
Well, we also
There's
have
so
all
much
those.
more decomposition.
There's also, I think, all the chemicals that are inside of us too. Like we are covered in nasty. Like we ingest it and shit. So all the toxins inside us.
I guess.
I mean, between like the food, the cigarettes, booze, like all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember. Because I could tell a brief thing about a dead body. I remember when we was doing the fire thing. We were going down to do some brush control and clear out a bunch of trees, and we're going out by the dunes by the ocean, and oh, you're good. And yeah, we had saw this car that crashed into this tree, and it was like down this cliff. And so we stopped, and they picked 3 guys, and of course they needed a guy to climb up a cliff, so they picked me. They're like, scale that
Get
cliff.
to it, mountain goat.
Yeah, and I was younger and quicker then, so I fucking flew up this cliff, and they're like, see where this car came from. I saw that there's this pull-off spot, and it went down the cliff
Like
to
a
where we
pull-out
went by.
spot. I'm talking right on her back. No.
Whoa. And nice. And there's a spot there, a pull-out spot.
Oh god.
And I could see the skid marks, and I could see there's a whole can of beers, and there was an empty liquor bottle there. So you could see that the guy had thought about it, drank, and then took off and went down this cliff and crashed into the cypress tree. And yeah, it already was smelling a little bit, and there was a stick nearby, so I did poke him to just check. I did check him, but his neck was snapped like a motherfucker. When he crashed, his neck went. His
Well,
neck,
it's funny that like you're sitting there like, hey, mister.
I literally poked
alive,
him.
and you're like poking him in the eye and shit,
Well,
mister.
no, I poked him in the chest because the evil, like everyone else was really bothered by it. Apparently, I was the least bothered. Like they were like, "This is terrible." I was like, "I've seen a dead body before. It's whatever."
Trevor's like, this isn't my first dead body, and it won't be my last.
So I was like, I've never poked a dead body with a stick. So I actually grabbed a stick and I poked
Trevor's
it.
in it
And
for
they
the
all looked at me like, "What is wrong
Trevor's
with you?" I
in
was
it
like,
for the
"Come on."
experience.
I thought it was fun. It was an interesting day.
Anywho.
Anyways,
Let's move forward in
completely
time.
normal. Moving on.
Yeah, Trevor's normal.
All right, shut up. Movie review. Movie review. Let's go.
All right, guys, we watched the first installment of Big Money Hustlers. It's an ICP movie again, folks. And it's
Big Bone Boots
it's about
Hustle
pimps
movie.
and hoes and taking over the town and not fucking with his money. Motherfuckers.
Yeah, Insane Clown Posse made some so bad but hilarious movies.
And this
Yeah.
one, Violent J
will cry from
again.
laughing. So,
Violent J is again the bad guy.
he loves to be the bad with Sweets involved.
Yeah.
His name is Sweets.
Yeah, his name is Big Baby Sweets.
Big baby sweet.
Yes.
And then they got Sugar Bear.
Instead, he was Sugar Wolf, but that's Shaggy 2 Dope.
Yeah, Shaggy 2 Dope with Sugar Bear in this
Yeah.
one. So it basically starts with him coming into town and realizing that everything's upside down.
And it's like New York City, like it's 1970s.
Yeah.
vibe.
And it's hilarious because Shaggy 2 Dope's character for the first like 40 minutes of the movie rhymes every sentence.
Yes.
Wow.
Like every sentence he rhymes to just
Dr.
make it
Seuss
seem,
shit like,
yeah,
hey,
I don't know.
like you should go take a look in that book, or just the
Yeah.
cheesiest shit.
Yeah, what was the line when he stopped the fight in the diner?
Oh, the ape guy, the guy,
He's
the
like,
Ross
you
type.
would do better if you weren't getting robbed for your cheddar.
Yeah.
Some shit like that. It was so bad.
And it was like, and you're considered one of the great white rappers, and here you are just doing some Dr. Seuss shit. It was ridiculous.
Well, I love how they really wanted to do it the whole movie, but they kind of copped out 40 minutes, and it was like, all right, this is getting ridiculous.
We've had enough.
Yeah, and he just started saying regular lines and then rhymed every once in a while.
Once in a while, he's like, all right, I'm running out of Dr. Seuss things to do. But it was so bad, it was funny, and then...
So what's the main villain's thing he's always after, Trevor?
My motherfucking money.
Yeah, he always says that. That's his catchphrase. Where's my motherfucking money?
And he does the cartoon character thing because, like, you could tell these guys watched a lot of Looney Tunes and, like, they kept doing the old, like, Batman thing with the logo of the Hatchet Man going do-do-do-do when they would change scenes. And they would just, like, do Looney Tune shit with, like, you know, the slap noises all the time. The onomatopoeias were crazy.
This sounds like a captivating bit of film.
It was hilarious. So bad. It was like, don't watch Ron Gerald. Gerald would probably want to stab people. But I remember one time I jokingly was like, whoop, whoop, what up, ninjas? And he looked at me, he's like, never say that again. We don't say that in this household. And Gerald was dead serious. He's like, we don't talk about
ICP.
ICP.
A little too
and then I'm like, all right,
context.
right.
Gerald is Kristina's husband.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great guy, but he does not like ICP apparently.
Gerald
or
is an
even
awesome
Joker.
dude, but man, he can get under your skin.
He's a little intense sometimes.
He's very intense.
He lives intense.
Yeah.
But the main villain's motivation is just getting his motherfucking money.
And it's literally in like comical giant bags of dollar signs on it.
Yeah.
I would love to have that if I ever had much
And
money.
he has
It's
a
the
small-
comical dollar bag, like some Monopoly.
So, I mean, how many beers out of 12 would you give this movie, Trevor?
How many rolls of film?
I'd give it out of 12 or 10.
Well,
10
you know,
rolls of
out of
film.
a 12 pack of beer.
I'd give it like a 9 for comedy. Like it was that funny.
It was like a good 8. There was a
8 or
really
9.
funny love interest for Shaggy Two Dope's character.
Man.
He had this big girl who was a stripper.
Like 500 pounds. Like
Can't
walk
well,
through
she
the door
wasn't
without-
500 pounds, but she was like 3 something.
She was bold
you know?
already, man. She was
a round girl.
like,
But
barely
I love
walked.
how in the ICP movies, instead of going with like a conventional hot girl,
He always goes.
they
to
go
someone
with like
out of place.
they go with like the
midget in the
more,
first movie. It was the midget last time, and then I mean,
Well, you know, short people deserve love too.
I think midgets are hot, man. There's some really hot little people running around.
Yeah. I worked at the cabinet shop. I worked with one of the chicks who ended up getting fired. We found out later on that she was a big time porn star named Jamie Ellie.
Oh,
And
yeah.
he's like, oh, look at the porn right there. And it showed her like pregnant getting plowed by 17 black midget dudes. We're like, oh shit, yeah, like gang bang.
I mean, that's impressive that, you know.
Yeah. And then as soon as she left, everyone was like showing videos of her just like in bukkake scenes. You're like, Jesus Christ. And she was a cute little thing that liked to work next to me and the other guys. And be like, hey, what's going on? And she also would steal tools a lot. So yeah. she stole like $500 worth of drills and shit. I saw her do this shit. I put it in her backpack.
She
even
was
though
a
there's
porn
cameras
star,
on.
and
Even
she
though there's-
stole tools.
But she was hot like 15 years ago. Time had not been nice to her. But her younger, like, yeah.
Are you telling me that porn stars don't always age gracefully, Trevor?
Yeah,
I
sometimes, yeah.
can't imagine why that would be.
I don't know. It's not a stressful life at all.
Usual drug addictions involved.
Look,
and,
Trevor, the
stress.
cocaine has nothing to do with it. You leave the cocaine out of this.
You leave the methamphetamines alone, Trevor.
That's more likely the thing.
You leave the
So this
Viagra
time-
and the meth alone.
Yeah, this is Eugene. More likely meth.
Well, you know where most porn is shot? It's shot in Los Angeles, Vegas, and Miami. Those are the
Yes.
three
A lot of
biggest
it's shot
things
in,
for porn. And it's so crazy because you see these girls that come from fucking Oklahoma or some shit.
They go there to
go
make
out
it
to
big.
Vegas, go out to LA or Miami.
Yeah, it's not going to be in like
And-
Nome, Alaska, or like.
Well,
you
the
know,
girls come from all over the country.
But they're not going to shoot porn in random places.
I mean, maybe the hot girls of Alaska.
Yeah, or like
the cool
Minnesota.
girls in Alaska.
There are going to be a bunch of hot chicks in like Dundas, Minnesota, where my family's from. Like there.
There has to be like a freaking Girls Gone Wild out there of like Canada. Canada gone wild.
Yeah.
Hey,
the moose is on the loose. That's all you got to say.
I used to work in a porn store, and let me tell you,
Let's go.
There's porn for everything.
Something out there for
everybody.
There is.
Nope. I have seen Sarah Palin lookalikes.
Samantha. I forget her name. She's a really big porn star. She got real big off of Nailing Palin.
Yeah.
That was her big thing. God damn it, I forget her name. She was on the Bonfire as a guest.
That's awesome. Shout out porn stars. Woo! Everyone?
Sex workers are people too, bro.
Yeah,
They're just trying to make a fucking paycheck.
Yeah, if you got to masturbate,
Second that people start realizing that, man, yeah.
No, they
less
are workers.
weird it's gonna be.
That's why we should regulate sex work.
I think there should be regulation. That's a great topic, Kristina.
Those people.
Regulation of sex work.
Yeah, I mean, those people deserve to have the same protections and.
They pay fucking taxes too.
Yeah.
They fucking pay for the cops and the people around us that help us.
Yeah. Sex work is real work, and it's,
And it's frowned upon, but I don't give a shit how frowned upon something is. If it's made legal,
That actually leads to one of the topics I want to talk about. The weed store that wanted to unionize. But go on.
Yeah, well, sex workers for a long time have been fucking shot up and fucked up and raped
and
and
all kinds of
ridiculous shit on the streets.
They're also asking for decriminalization of sex work so that they have the legal protections to keep themselves safe.
Because right now they don't because it's illegal. So
it's such a ridiculous thing to punish somebody because you feel that it's against your morality.
Religion. Yeah, that's the problem. Is you still have a lot of specifically old white Christian people with way too much power.
That's the funniest part of this
is that they're the people that are utilizing sex workers the most.
100%. You got
the congressmen.
Fucking.
Dude, Rudy Giuliani, motherfuckers.
No. Rudy Giuliani.
You shut up. Rudy Giuliani. Remember the Borat 2 thing with
with the young girl.
Yeah.
But no, Kristina hit the nail on the head when she said what she said. And it was basically that the people that end up getting caught at brothels and the people that end up getting caught in riskier situations with prostitutes, it's more or less people that are higher up. And that's why it's extremely frowned upon. Because you can't have the pastor getting arrested,
Or the congressman that, before that a month before said all gays should burn and that he was never going to have weed legalized, like those guys.
Those are the guys that get caught with their dicks in a glory hole.
Yes, and the irony is ridiculous. But
what do you think would be the alternative? Is that every one of them are faithful men? And they all have a hetero relationship with their wives.
If sex work
was legalized sex work,
then you could have, mandatory STD testing. Yeah. You could have,
which is something that goes on in Amsterdam already. It's amazing sex work out there for a lot of people.
Yeah, and other things too, like protection for people against sexual assault, because a lot of women are afraid to come forward because.
They usually know they're a tagger.
Because they're a sex worker. And so they end up in really dangerous situations. They're exposed to,
Yeah, not paying a sex worker, man, is pretty much rape. Like, you're basically stealing from somebody and you're taking their fucking...
Yep, 100%.
Their fucking sexual...
That is rape.
Pretty much, it's rape without fucking... it's
passive rape
weird,
would be the term.
It's
Passive
a weird
rape.
line.
I'd call it,
but it's definitely rape.
It's like passive.
Oh, for
rape.
sure, because you've made a contract with this person, and they're giving you their consent
they're
based on that contract,
and it's with their body.
Yeah.
But
they're giving you consent based on that contract, and so when you refuse to pay,
you imagine the people that get with somebody and then they go, I only got $20. What?
After it happened. After it happened.
What must go down? There's got to be some videos somewhere of John's getting the shit kicked out of him.
I would say that's when a pimp shows up and handles business. Dolomite. Remember that from us?
Yeah, there's a crazy thing with pimps for girls on OnlyFans now. I think I talked about this before. It's like the girls are trying to do their own thing, and there's people that are like, "Oh, I'll teach you about streaming, and I'll teach you about You know, so they're basically just trying to fucking. It's another scam. It's a pyramid scheme.
Right?
That's the craziest thing too. Is now with like something like OnlyFans, like most people can do porn in their home comfortably.
Yep.
And
you
make
know,
money from
invite
it.
friends over and shit. And, and it's just so crazy because like it's a new genre.
And on how many views they get, they can get money.
Also, how crazy is it that it's legal for you to have sex for money as long as the person that you're having sex with isn't the one paying you?
Yeah.
And also,
it's a third party payment.
Also, if it's being filmed, then you're like,
well, that's what I mean.
There's
it's perfectly legal to have sex for money as long as you're filming it and selling the tape, and you're not. It's not the person having sex with you that's paying.
Trevor, you know what I'm taking away from this? We need to get a video camera. No.
Hey, lady, you're not that hot, but come down to the alleyway real quick. Oh.
No, I think it's just crazy, man. It's and whatever happened to just like meeting somebody and going out to lunch. Like Instagram has changed it a lot, and like.
I mean, look, restaurant prices have gone up.
Yeah, taking somebody out's expensive.
Right.
You better know what's
Christina
going
has
on
a good point
beforehand.
there. Like, hey, I can't get you to this super fancy organic salad that's $30, but the alleyway over here, get to business.
So, what do you prefer, screwing first and then lunch, or lunch and then screwing?
Depends on how drunk I am.
Yeah.
It depends on how good the food is.
Where are we going to eat? Yeah, that's a good question.
I'm saying.
We going someplace
Come on,
good?
man.
We might
Some
get
stoner
some food
shit.
and
How
then-
stoned am I? Like, if I'm stoned enough, I'm like, hey, you got...
But
you
being
got
up to a
endless
task
pancakes,
on
man?
a full
Come on.
stomach,
Right?
But if you're
Sometimes
super
it's
hungry...
nice to be a little hungry and then go in and then eat afterwards.
But I'm saying if you're starving...
There's nothing better than a chick making you a nice sandwich after sex.
It's great. That's a good thing.
She's like, you want a sandwich? What? Yes. How'd you know the way to my heart?
Michelle does not cook.
No.
She's pretty much not allowed to cook, so...
Sucks.
Yeah, I never get a sandwich after sex.
That sucks.
Damn.
A sandwich ain't that difficult. It's not really cooking.
So you would think that.
Make you a cold cut.
Yeah, well, Michelle could burn a cold sandwich.
You burn a cold sandwich. Yeah. Trevor, you ready for your music review? Your album?
Yeah, I just got to find hopefully find a timestamp.
I always love that when people say, like, a motherfucker can't boil an egg. I'm like, damn, boiling an egg's pretty simple.
It is pretty
No,
simple.
when I say Michelle could burn a cold sandwich, she really could.
How's this panini supposed to work? Panini? You were making bologna.
Right.
Yeah. I was like, what? Oh, shit. Yeah, no, the ICP movies are definitely for their fans, but there's some stupid, funny jokes in the middle of them.
Well, I watched a double feature that I would love to review the next time I'm here.
Sure.
Okay. Next time you can do the
Yeah,
movie.
we got Velocipaster and Llamageddon.
Yeah, Llamageddon. I like that.
By the way, I like llamas. That's awesome.
Well, this one shoots lasers from its eyeballs, so...
Hell yeah!
Laser
I
llamas.
might have to watch that. I have to check that out. Lasers and llamas.
So, Trevor, you've been listening to some music lately, huh?
Yeah. So this is a Canadian oi punk band called Emergency. The album is called 1, 2, 3, 4.
Trevor really got upset because he hadn't brought any punk rock to
Or
the
metal.
podcast yet.
Punk or yeah, I hadn't done any punk yet.
And
Done
you know,
all these
for him-
things.
For him, that's a problem. Okay.
I'd done
So-
Cajun.
so
I had done all these other
you
things.
folks
all this
better
ro-
be buckling up because I feel a punk wave a coming.
Shut up and listen. Here we go. The song is called "What You Gonna Do."
Justin Trudeau, you think you're gonna control me?
Don't you think it through?
All right.
Yeah.
What do
Some
you
good
think?
stuff, Trevor.
Yeah, I liked it.
I'll send you that if you want to listen to it.
I like that a lot. I mean, that's pretty much right up my alley.
Yeah.
So.
As I said, it was like kind of like Rancid minus the ska, or like a fast version of like. I know you're not crazy for like the super hardcore stuff, like Gerald and I like as much.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I prefer a vocal track that you can actually understand.
That's why I know you're not big on like the death metal and
Yeah.
stuff. Because
No,
me,
that's
I
me.
don't care if I don't hear it. If it's like, hey, if it sounds like plates being dropped into a garbage disposal, that's what I'm feeling right now.
I listen to Creed every once in a while. That's my weird dirty pleasure is Creed. My
Bring my head
sacrifice.
on Sunday morning. Bring
It's so
my head.
funny, man.
That's funny.
It's funny because like it's such bad music, but it's like I don't know. Every once in a while, it'll get you. You know, you're just like, God damn it, where you take me higher.
I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I listen to Gangnam Style, and I'm like, I hope no one's around right now.
Whoop, whoop,
Yeah.
whoop.
Yeah, I'm
Whoop,
like-
Gangnam Style.
But anyways, this is a great album. It's 33 minutes of just awesome punk. I'll send you the link. It's great.
Do it.
These guys started in the 90s, and I'm not sure where in Canada they're from, but they've only had a couple albums come out. I wish they had gotten bigger because
They're from that
great.
place where it's really cold.
Yes.
It's Canada.
But there's quite a few oi punk bands from Canada. In the future, I've played in this song, but I'm sure you've heard Gordon Lightfoot.
In the
Yes.
future? You
Yeah.
mean you've already been to the future and played with Jordan Lightfoot? What are you talking about?
Shh, don't ask questions.
Time traveling son of a
10,000 years
bitch.
ago into the future.
Dun, 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 dun.
But the song that
Skynet became aware.
You know? That's what's going on right now, bud.
My toaster became aware.
My blender started to have feelings.
Can you imagine? His small appliances started to attack.
Dude, what is it?
Started out with a clock radio.
It's like the Brave Little Toaster, but mixed in with a little bit of Evil Dead in there real quick.
The Brave Little Toaster was a good watch, man.
Yeah, we saw it
rewatched The
stoned
Brave
to shit a
Little
few months
Toaster.
ago. We
Well,
were
it
shit
wasn't a few nights ago, but it was a while ago.
a few months ago, and we were stoned as fuck, and we're like, we really analyzed it. We're like, what's going on? The lamp. That we're like, is the lamp homophobic? He's like, hey, you're spending a lot of time over there at the
With that blanket.
At that blanket. What's going on there? And we were like, what is happening right now?
The vacuum and just all the appliances that were traveling around.
The
with
radio
this
had like a
toaster.
1930s, like, man, see what's going on in the news today? This Hitler guy is causing problems. Like, had that voice the whole movie. It was,
I have seen the movie. It's been a while. I have
Yes.
seen it.
It definitely worth a rewatch. The Happy Little Toaster?
Brave Little
Brave
Brave
Little
Little Toaster. It's amazing. It's fun to watch Stone.
I was shit-faced and stoned, and I was like, dude, this is very
Got
enjoyable.
shit-faced last night and watched Con Air with Sage because Sage had never seen Con
Why didn't you
yeah.
put the money back in the box?
Air. Right? Yeah, Sage had never seen Con Air, so.
Danny
that was
Trejo, man.
Right?
Hell
Johnny
yeah.
23. They'd call me Johnny 600 if they knew the truth.
Yeah, that was good times.
There's so many weird quotes from that movie because there's just so many moments.
So one of the things that I
It's
do.
kind of like Predator, like, you son of a bitch. One of those movies.
I love Steve Buscemi. He's like, one state, I wore a girl's head through it like
Oh,
a
no.
hat.
Yeah, I once wore a girl's head as a hat through 3 states. That's
He
the
was
quote.
driving, just wearing a head.
That's pretty hardcore.
He's got the whole world in
In
his
his hands.
hands.
But yeah, I mean, real quick, so what oi punk is there's different types of punk. So the way I describe it, Kristina might help me out, but it's like the whole like working class. They go to pubs after work, and that's kind of their
You had a
lifestyle.
rough day. You need a drink.
You had a
and
rough
you
day
need
at the
a guitar
factory, mate.
solo.
Hey! But yeah, and then they make music, and it started in England.
We got Tim's boy here. He's going to be performing tonight.
Yeah.
And this is his band, the Wankers.
Actually, I heard that song "We Are the Wankers" today, but that was by the band Hardskins. But there are certain bands that help start that, like Cockspar, I would say, and like The Business, and like Sham 69, and then like kind of spread. So there seems to be a lot of good punk rock coming out of Canada and metal. So there you go.
Trevor's
Emergency.
moving to Canada, folks.
There's my album review.
He's gonna go get his legal weed, and he's gonna go punch Justin Trudeau in the mouth. And
Hell
he's
yeah.
gonna go,
On a moose?
Yeah.
Yes.
He's gonna go fight a
Fight a
Mountie.
Mountie.
Be like, hey, bud, what you doing up there, huh? And he'd be like, oh, you motherfuckers.
You imagine pulling a Mountie off a horse? Oh man!
With a hockey stick. Just grab a hockey stick, just
What's
yank
this
him.
about then?
Yeah.
This is America. No, it's not.
Hey, you're not being very nice right now, don't you know? Like,
You know what else isn't nice? Your mom. Ah.
I had Maud's cheese. Don't you talk about my mother that way. Like, oh, easy there.
You got too much of a Swedish or a Finnish thing going here.
The whole Midwestern thing.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Minnesota. I grew up with that accent.
Well, I love that it just went from Canadian
This-
to Midwest real quick.
But I mean, it's like the Midwest, but just like continuously north. Like the Midwest of Canada is very similar. Like if you go up to like
I've never been to Canada.
I've been on the
Oh, yeah.
western portion.
I want to go to Canada to get some.
Where
of
in
their
Canada
weed
have you
and
been,
See what their
Kristina?
weed's
I've been to
about.
BC several times. I used to have to drive Michael up there for Highland Games when he was drumming. So.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have one up there once, and it's gorgeous. If you ever get
Yeah.
British Columbia, is gorgeous.
Yeah, it's very nice.
So why? The real question is, why doesn't America take Canada over?
Well, because it would be a little too blatant. Kind of like what Russia's trying to do right now of Ukraine.
Oh well, Russia can do it, but we can't. Come on, man. We might as well just start taking our
Hey.
neighbors
Hey.
over.
We're a God-fearing
Mexico,
country.
you're next. No.
Hey, we're a God-fearing country, unless your God is Allah, in which case, drones, motherfucker. So, yeah.
I'm sending you the link to Lamageddon.
Yes.
That way.
Well, I'm getting you
I'll
out of here.
I will send you the link when the podcast is over to this.
I think you guys are over with the podcast. You're both in your phones.
Now,
The
all right.
podcast is finished. Phone time.
Let's see, what else? Chris and I saw a documentary about the white mummies of China and how the Indo-Europeans would use weed, 3,000 plus years ago in the Bronze
yeah,
Age.
25,000
And-
or 2,500
Yeah,
years
so
ago.
this was a period where when people had left Africa, there was a large group of them that ended up north of kind of India, and then from there they dispersed. And a lot of people went through Asia and then eventually the
the
Americas.
Euro-Asia.
And then you had the whole Indo-Europeans, where there was a whole group that hung out around Europe and the western half of Asia, and a lot of them would use cannabis at the time.
Well, what they ended up finding, the scientists, when they basically went into the tombs of a lot of these, the priests and the higher ups
Yeah.
of the community, they would find sticks and stems, seeds. They would find burnt.
They found
residue,
resin. They found like 5,000-year-old resin.
old heroin. Yeah, they found.
And they mix it with the heroin too. Heroin.
Well, it was
Oh, it's
interesting.
opium.
Yeah,
It's
opium.
They,
Yeah,
they'd
sorry.
Make
Opium.
they'd make a mixture
correction.
of opium and cannabis.
yeah.
And they would either drink it. There was a name for
There
it,
was a
like
tea.
soma. It was called like soma or something.
Yeah.
And then they would also just burn it like incense.
But it was just found, and that's one of the craziest things is that poppies have been providing drugs for a lot longer than cannabis, but cannabis has always been around too.
Yeah.
It's just people didn't really know it as hallucinogenic. They used it as hemp. It was
They used it
more
as
of a
hemp.
textile.
Yep.
And they were using it for rope and bags and things of that nature more than smoking. But the opium's been around forever in
Yeah.
many societies. And it wasn't until about 3,000 years ago that they figured out that you could use cannabis as a recreational drug possibly, or a spiritual drug. And they had a bunch of different names for it in the different portions of the world that it came from, because it definitely started out in like Asia and worked its way down through the Middle East.
Yeah, Trevor was telling me that the word marijuana is actually
Greek. Yeah, I talked
well,
about
there's
it.
a few of them. Yeah, there's a
But
lot of
marijuana
different
being
ones.
Greek, that blew my mind. I was like, what?
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously in Spanish it's mota, and like
Well, every
and it-
culture has a different.
like in the Polynesian
phrase.
culture,
Yeah, there's different slang.
Bakaloa, for example, is a Polynesian term. Over like Samoa, they call it bakaloa.
But
and there's
making
different terms.
hash is over a 2,000-year process.
Probably
So
older.
they've been making hash forever now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Afghanistan.
Yeah, they've been doing it since the time of of the Bible and before, probably.
Yeah. So it's just interesting how cannabis and just drugs in general play such a part in our history.
I talk about Zoroastrianism, which is a religion that influenced Judaism and everything else. It was older than all these religions.
Yeah.
And it was when a lot of the Indo-Europeans showed up, it became the main religion of Persia eventually. But yeah, they would ceremonially burn a lot of cannabis.
It's the same thing with sage.
Yeah.
It's the exact same thing with sage. They burn a ton of sage to get an effect. But yeah, folks, take your drugs in responsible doses.
Yes.
That's my 2 cents.
Everything
on
in moderation.
Everything in moderation.
Including moderation.
Moderation, exactly. All right. You got anything else, Trevor? Are you ready to play us out?
Just say you have any last 2-minute things?
Actually, I do have one more interesting fact. The
There you
Shanghai
go.
Tunnel tours in Portland, they've lost access to the Shanghai tunnels. They've been doing these tours, teaching the history of the Shanghai tunnels and slavery in Oregon and all of this stuff for I think like 60 years or some bullshit.
Yeah.
But because so many businesses in Portland have closed down, they no longer have access to the tunnels that they've been using for that entire time because the new business owners don't want to be a part of it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So, yeah.
I didn't know there was tunnels under Portland.
Oh, yeah.
That's crazy.
Miles and miles of tunnels.
I know it's an
through,
old...
like,
it's like a
all of-
subway system or something?
Through like all of downtown.
So I know it started in the 1800s, like even before it was a
They're
state.
not old subway tunnels. They were like transportation tunnels for like transporting goods from like one store to another or
I got you.
things like that.
Yeah. The
But they
underground rail systems.
they ended up being taken over by
slaves. And,
by the slave trade,
Yeah.
by people that people would get kidnapped. And,
yeah.
you'd go out to gamble or drink, and they'd drug you.
Yeah.
And then just drop you down a
Drag you
chute.
off
Just
and-
drop you down a chute.
Put you in a fucking
I wonder if anyone-
mining cart and just...
I wonder if anyone got Shanghaied because you have the Columbia River there.
That's why they're called the Shanghai Tunnels.
Because you get Shanghaied, yeah. You'd end up, next thing you'd be on ocean, next thing you're like a week later, like, yeah, we're on our way to the Philippines.
I don't know why.
Shit.
Yep.
I thought you said next week you're going to be in OSHA. I was like...
in the ocean.
No, I was like, wait, the people that come and check on the
Yes.
safety?
Yes.
have
Hey,
facilities?
that's actually a costume
OSHA.
idea I've had for years.
Showing up as an OSHA guy.
No, a time-traveling ocean inspector. That's an idea I have. It's because I've always joked, like, even back in time, they're building the pyramids, like, look, no safety glasses. Your feet are
Wearing
exposed.
sandals.
Yeah, I was like, look, so many problems here. You're leaving the
You're
spray
going to have
rope.
to stop building this
Yeah.
temple immediately, Sultan.
I think time-traveling ocean inspector is a genius idea, and that's like that would be like a whole, like, Marvel thing. Just put that in there real quick. It'd be hilarious.
You know, it's a whole Marvel thing.
What do you think of that,
If you were to
Christina?
marvelously
you're a funny
pick up
character.
that damn
All right.
guitar.
All right, about that time,
You are about that life and about that time.
maybe.
Do it! Very good.
Yeah.
All right. I want to thank our guest, Kristina. It is always awesome having you here.
Thank you guys
are
for
amazing.
having me. It's always fun.
Yeah, and thank you, Trevor, for providing us with all the vinegar for this episode. All right, folks, that's been Two Lonely Boys in a Canoe, episode 15. What do you think we should call this one?
He found out vinegar, so something with vinegar.
I like that.
Shit and vinegar.
And honey. Shit and vinegar.
Yeah.
All right,
Shit and
folks.
vinegar, I
We'll
like
see
that.
you next time. Or we'll talk to you next time.
Talk to you next time.